Actually booked a very weird role recently. On Netflix, there's a show called Indian Matchmaking. Some of you will know this show, and not only the brown people, a lot of people know this show, they're watching it. They now have Jewish matchmaking, they're expanding it into a franchise. It's about Indian matchmaking. I turned 30, and I flipped out. I realized I had spent my entire life in Ohio. I took it really, really hard, and the people said to me then, and they still say to me now, age is just a number. All right, fine, then your weight is just a number. Your height is just a number. Your credit score is just a number. Your cholesterol is a number. Your blood pressure, those are just numbers, right? But numbers have value, which implies they have meaning. They mean something. Like, doesn't it already feel like this year has moved so fast? It's shorter than any year so far, right? Well, there's some math to that. I'm gonna break it down, all right? My son, I have a son, by the way. My son is turning 2 years old. I know. He's turning 2 years old, so this next year of his life is 50% of it, right? 1/2, 50% of his life, it's gonna feel really long to him. This next year, I'm almost 50. I know, black don't crack, brown don't frown, that's what I'm saying. So this next year is 2% of my life. So to me, it's gonna feel really short, to him, it's gonna feel really long. And the only reason I tell you that is to depress the hell out of everyone in the room. No, I say it because I want people to stop saying age is just a number. It's crap. In fact, toilet paper is a very good analogy, in fact, because when you sit down and check to see how much toilet paper is left, hopefully in the reverse order, you check, and then you sit down. When you think half of the roll is left, there's actually less than half left because of the way that circumference works. Think about it, right? There's more on the outside than there is on the inside, like people in LA. So my analogy is that life is like toilet paper. The less that's left, the faster it goes. I'm not sure when this turned into a TED Talk. But that's okay. I turned 30, I flipped out, and I moved to California, moved to Los Angeles, specifically to be a full-time comedian and an actor. I am an actor. Although you haven't, yeah, sure, no, thank you. You haven't seen me in anything, so I'm like an auditioner. Actually booked a very weird role recently. On Netflix, there's a show called Indian Matchmaking. Some of you will know this show, and not only the brown people, a lot of people know this show, they're watching it. They now have Jewish matchmaking, they're expanding it into a franchise. And if you don't know the show, or even if you do, it's about Indian matchmaking. It's a very coy title. So I actually do the audio description for the show. Some of you will not know what that is. I will explain. If you go in Netflix into settings and turn on audio description, I know it's hard to say, Mom, I made it, when you have to tell them to go into the settings. But it's for the seeing impaired. It helps them hear what's going on. You narrate the show. It's really kind of a crazy thing. It's kind of cool to be able to do this. I don't know. It's the role that I was able to book. But that show cracks me up. Indian matchmaking cracks me up. If you've seen it, or even if you haven't, the star of the show is someone named Seema Auntie. And what her job is to connect South Asians together romantically, and she is right about 0% of the time. That's a strange premise for a show. It'd be like turning on SportsCenter. Here's all the shots Steph Curry missed last night. I don't want to see that. I want to see my boy traded from 10 feet behind the three-point line. It's crazy. But she'll say that stuff. She'll criticize, especially the women. She's a little sexist. Seema Auntie. She will say to the women, "Mia beti, you have too many criterias." She takes this word criteria and she makes it even more plural. To show you how single you are. It's true that she'll say to them, she'll go, you know, you get 60, 70% of what you're looking for, it's okay. Really, Auntie? When's the last time I could bring home a 60, 70% on a math test? Speaking of the Chinese, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky was grilling then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Capitol Hill about the Benghazi hearings. That's a lot of proper nouns and prepositions. But you remember this, right? Republicans were giving Hillary a lot of hell about the confirmation process and all that. And he brought up our tour. He goes, you guys spent $100,000 sending 3 comedians to India. That was our tour! Because of that crazy Republican in Kentucky, we're part of the congressional record. Except in our moment of glory, he called it Make Chi Not War, which would have been Chinese. Now, this part of it did not make it into the congressional record. I will say right now that one of the great improvements in India is the bathroom situation. It's way better, okay? I remember going with my parents in 1985, and they had the squat toilets. All right, people ask why we do yoga. They're like, is it tied into meditation and inner peace? I'm like, no. Not inner peace, outer pieces, okay? We're trying not to fall in the toilet. Too bad my son's not here, he'd love that joke, okay. We're on our way from Kolkata to Durgapur. And you know it's a true story because I cannot pronounce Durgapur. I would have picked another city. But we were on our way from Kolkata to Durgapur in this 3-hour ride in this red van. We're late per usual, and I really have to go to the bathroom. So we're almost there. I'm like, I cannot hold it anymore. I'm shifting in my seat. I'm not even shifting in my seat. I'm full-on Punjabi dancing, you know? Like, I just cannot even, like, that's where our dancing comes from, too. I just cannot hold it in at all. Like, I'm dying. They pull over the van to this line of shops and stores, and I get out. And I have to go to the bathroom so badly, I can now speak Hindi. Because I don't speak Hindi. And I was always ashamed of the fact that I don't speak Hindi, but it's because I was born in this country before 1984. That's my theory. The mantra at the time was assimilation. If you're born in this country before 84, you probably don't speak your native tongue. Now, after this, you ask the kids these days, they speak Rajasthani and Punjabi and Gujarati, and that's just the Tamil kids. They're really smart. But I walked up and I asked this guy, I was like, washroom kahan hai? Washroom kahan hai? You may know this about South Asia. Nobody's gonna tell you where anything is. I've never had anybody tell me where anything is located. They're just gonna tell you where the next guy is standing. Who's gonna tell you where the next guy is standing? Who's gonna tell you where the next guy is standing? And that's the great thing about having 1.4 billion people. There's always the next guy standing. I get to the end, it's like swinging through the jungle like Tarzan on vines, and they keep appearing. This is why South Asians are so good at the internet. Before it launched, this was our network, okay? We're getting all the way to the end, and I see this guy standing there. I'm like, washroom kahan hai? He points at a sign. This time, it does not read man. It does not read men. It reads gents. 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 For gentlemen. I think this is gonna be a nice bathroom. I open up the door and it takes me right back outside again. It's just a hole. It's literally the whole bathroom. It is a hole in the ground. Never in my life have I felt more like a gentleman, by the way. Cars are whizzing by, I'm whizzing into a hole. At least they could give me a top hat and a cane, I could feel like a gentleman. I go in to complain, I'm like, there's a hole in the toilet. He goes, that is the toilet. The other place I feel totally stupid is in the post office. You hardly ever go to the post office anymore. So when you walk in, it feels like this foreign land, right? I walk in there, I'm standing there with my letter, and I'm like, what the hell is going on at the US Postal Service? No wonder the government can't keep track of these documents. Metered mail, stamped mail. What the hell is metered mail? This has a stamp on it. Does that mean? Because once I drop it in there, it's all over. 16 ounces or less. Should that be fewer? How much is 16 ounces? I'm not standing in that line. I know I drink 12 ounces of beer. Is that the same? That's fluid ounces, right? I knew I should have smoked pot instead. Yeah, bro, that's an ounce. Sometimes I wish I would have smoked pot, because I think I would have been one of those one-liner stoner comedians. Because those one-liner stoner comics crack me up. I love that stuff. Especially when they say things like, shoot for the moon. That way, if you miss, at least you'll land amongst the stars. Whenever people say that to me, I think, wow, this person does not understand astronomy. I'm thinking about getting one of those Jesus is my co-pilot bumper stickers, just so I can use the carpool lane. If you're a smartass, do you have a wisecrack? You know, my Buddhist friend sends me emails with please see detached. I went to an Amish wedding and they all did the acoustic slide. The other day I was on a Zoom and everybody put their names and pronouns like he, him, and she, her. I changed my entire name to Michael Jackson. Just so I could be. I just found out that was a meme. I'm like, I don't know if I should be proud or ashamed. I don't know. I loved Michael Jackson, man. I grew up on Michael Jackson. Yes. It wasn't just the little boys. He touched us all. And